Unfortunately, I was old enough to remember all the details, but I was not old enough to do anything about it. I was 7 years old when the war started in Bosnia.
I was 12 years old, my brother 9 years old. We were playing soccer outside, it was a nice day, and then we all of a sudden heard noises of tanks and soldiers coming through the city and villages, which was a surprise to both of us and even to our friends at our age.
As our town was attacked, we've been running through the woods for many weeks without shelter, food. It was me, my mom, and my sisters. My father was wounded from one of the grenades that was fired. Without any medical supplies or food, we pretty much dragged him through the woods for a couple of days, and were able to find some food to keep him alive. And we continued to run through the woods. He was unable to go with us because he was injured in his leg and he couldn't walk. They started shooting randomly and people were falling dead right next to us until we all got out and ran towards them, hoping that they will stop shooting. They placed us all together and they randomly picked out the man they shot in front of us as a lesson that anybody trying to escape will be shot just as they did. At the camp we spent about a week. Most of the people there we knew because they were our neighbors. We've seen horrible things happening every day. They will take our women and rape. They will take our neighbors and beat them so badly that after a few hours when they return, you won't even recognize those same neighbors they knew for years.
This is the place where I saw horrifying scenes, men being killed in front of us, and boys anywhere from age 15 and up. I also looked a little older for my age, especially having height, and my mom was very concerned that they would take me too.
Zarobljen sam 92. 10. maja, selo Suho. U stvari tu su nas četnici opkolili i odveli nas sve na igralište. Mene i moju familiju komplet, mušku i žensku.
They lined us up against the wall and told us to turn our heads and face the wall, and they pulled up their knives, swearing at us that they're gonna slaughter every one of us.
Tu su nas razdvojili, žene i djeca, i muškarci. I tako odatle smo s igrališta pravo u školu u Vukarađić. Bilo je nas oko 800 ljudi. I ja i u mene brati, svi smo tu išli u školu. Tu u sali smo bili, gdje smo radili fizičku, sve. U stvari tu smo zatvoreni bili. I tu su nas učerali na pola sale. Ona sala u školu. Znači 800 ljudi na pola sale je stalo. 9 ljudi se ugušilo odmah tu prvu noć kad smo došli. Ugušilo se bez metka. A ovako na polovici ima ljudi koji su prije valjda dovodili tu u taj logor. Ubijeni ljudi, ja mislim mrtvi. Židovi svi krvavi to. kad kasnije dođoše ljudi, bit će svi njiha, znaš, kaže ustajte. Kad on ustaje, jedva ljudi ustaju polomljeni svi. I tu je počelo uglavnom. Tu su za 4-5 dana ubili 400 ljudi. Sve pred nama. Mene su bili izveli i u mene je brat ustao, on je ovdje. Kaže, nemojte njega, kaže, to mi je brat. U mene otac je rahmetli, kaže, sjedi ti, kaže, dole makar ko njega ubije, ostani ti, znaš. To je haos bio. I ja dođem tu do kamiona i stanem. U stvari on mi kaže stani. I ja stanem, ne smiješ da se okreniš, znaš. I stao sam još činim, meni se učinilo 5 minuta, a sam on stajao. Ništa on ne govori. Kasnije viće, penji se gore na kamion. I ono kad se popniš, znaš, na kamion, pa ono kad zakoračiš onu ogradu, pa ono kad staneš na ljudi, isto ko voda ono kad vri, ono, a ono sve krv, znaš. Ja nisam ni znao, mislio šta je ovo, kad pun šleper ljudi, sve mrtvo. Viće meni života u crvenoj majici, a u mene komšija bio djevarnik. Ubili ga valjda. Rekao, nije živ i ništa ono, znaš, ja stojim gore. Rekao, sad će i mene garante. Upaliti metak i tu ostati. I kasnije će silaze. Odvedu 10 ljudi, izvedu, tamo iza sale, uzmu, streljaju i zapali. I uzmu s puškom one prozore porazbijaju, kasnije zapale ljudi, to smrdi ban kako čovjek i tijelo smrdi, to je čudo jedno. Poguš se. I to je haos bio. Radili su ljudi šta su htjeli.
I remember feeling a lot of fear, and I was only 5 years old when the war began.
I was only 5 days old when my parents set upon a journey. The only way to get to the safe zone was to travel through the forest 40 kilometers away in the bitter cold of January. My parents had to carry me and my siblings to reach us all to safety.
As I was walking through the woods, slipping and falling and picking myself up and trying to hold on to the helping hand, I remember reaching to the top of this hill and seeing this tree, and there was a frozen body, older lady, frozen against the tree. And that's one of the memories that till this day is very clear in my mind. With the war, many challenges come, and as a kid I remember being hungry, very hungry. My mom used to lie to us or make up the stories to say that, you know, there's food in the oven, it's coming, and that moment would never come.
It took 8 years before we were able to go back to the village and recover the body of my father, and we buried him back in 2000. Unfortunately, my grandfather, he was 80 at the time, he was slaughtered, and they even took his body, so we never recovered the body, we never buried him, and as of even today, we still don't have any information where his body would be.
So I remember at the time I was so hungry when I saw a dog outside through my window with a piece of bread in his mouth, and as a kid I decided to run after him, and I ran and unfortunately I couldn't catch him.
I was about 4 years old when the war started in the beginning of '92. My father was killed in November of that year. I actually just turned 4 years old, and my brother was about 6 months old. He was born in March. After that, my mom, my little brother, and myself, we actually went on foot about 11 kilometers south to Srebrenica, which was deemed a safe zone at that time. In the beginning of '93, we were transported to Tuzla, to a refugee camp via convoy, and that was one of the things that really stuck with me, is that my mom had to dress me up as a little girl because they were taking little boys off the convoys and only really letting women and old people and really young children through. And actually, I think 2 or 3 little kids died on that convoy because they were suffocated from all the people that wanted to get on. There was just not enough room.
I got my first entrepreneurship skills when I was 8. At the time, with nobody to take care of the family, I started selling cigarettes on the streets. It was a huge town. It was a huge city. And they were firing missiles every day, but that was the only way to survive.
When I came to the United States, I was 16 years old. I only brought few pieces of clothes with me.
And one of the things I remember the most about coming here was just the sheer abundance of food everywhere, especially sweets. And I ballooned up like 20 pounds just because I just couldn't stop eating all the good stuff. Bananas especially, I love bananas, and getting your hands on you know, a pound back home wasn't that easy.
After we learned language, it was easier to find friends and begin new life.
Having experienced all of the horrors of war, my father has always been adamant about the importance of education and how my siblings and I should always take advantage of the opportunities that come available to us.
I tell my children my stories of my life and survival, especially days when I was hungry, and I hope that they learn how to appreciate things that they have in life.
I was raised with the stories of survival. It is these stories that have propelled me to achieve my best.
One of the important things to know about Bosnians living in the United States is most of us did not come over to look for a better life. We came over to look for a life.
America's been great to me and my family, specifically in New England and the Hartford area. I went to the public high schools in Hartford. I went to college in Hartford, and I actually even work at the Hartford, which if that wasn't enough. And now that I'm expecting a son, I'm hoping that he and myself and the rest of us can make this area even better. And not just this, but also New England and America as a whole.
I strive to make our community better, to make my children better characters, so that one day I could say I gave back to loyal, dedicated Hartford citizens.